Dear students, let's start lecture number 14 on the topic C# abstraction of the course Visual Programming. So this is our today's outline. First we will discuss C# abstraction. Then we will see abstraction in classes and methods. And then we will consider different example for understanding abstraction in classes and methods. And then I'll give you an assignment, and then we have question answer session. So let's start with the revision of lecture number 13, which were on the topic polymorphism, part second. Polymorphism. So what is polymorphism? Poly means, as this is Greek word, so it has two syllables. So poly means many, and form means formism means form. So occur when many classes, they are related to each other by inheritance. So as we have studied in our previous class, that what the polymorphism is, that you have different behaviors of methods. So method name will be same, but how they will be connected? They will be connected through inheritance. So you have different classes, and in the different classes you have same signatures. So each class will have its own behavior of the particular methods. So this is what is written here. Then inheritance let us inherit field and methods from other class. Polymorphism uses those methods to perform different tasks. This allows us to perform a single action in a different way. For example, if you consider animal class, and in the animal class you have this animal sound, so you derive different classes from the animal, like pig, cat, dog, or bird, and they have their own implementation of the animal sound. So as you know that each animal has its own sound, so each animal will be deploying that method in a different way. So this is actually what we say, many forms of the same thing. Types of polymorphism. So actually we have two type of polymorphism, static and dynamic. Static we have covered already in our previous lectures, that static polymorphism means when you have overloading of method, means that you have same signature in a class. So while in dynamic polymorphism, normally we have different classes and they have a relation of inheritance. So this is called dynamic polymorphism. Static polymorphism, two or more methods have the same name with different arguments. Like we have in overloading, we also call it static binding. Actually, the term binding means when you combine object with a method name. This is called binding. Means that which method of a class will be called. This is actually defined by binding. So for calling a particular method of a class, you need object and a method name. So that is actually called binding. Compile time means that this binding is actually compiled at compile time. So it is binded, so this cannot be changed later on. Early binding of the class means that this is bind before runtime. That's why this is called early binding. This is an example you can see here. Actually, this is the example of static polymorphism, that we have different kind of methods. And here, if you can see, as this is revision, so I just go over each of the topic just for the sake of revision. Anyhow, if you have question, you can ask me through WhatsApp or KCMS by pointing out that we have a question on this slide number. So I'll answer, more than happy to answer your questions. So here you can see that we are creating object with the name obj. So obj.sum. This is how as we have the same method, same signature of the method in a class. So this is called overloading. But this method has 2 parameters, and this method or a function has 3 parameters. So this is how compiler identifies that which particular method will be called. So here 3 parameter function or a method will be called, and here 2 parameter function or a method will be called. Now come to dynamic polymorphism. So for the dynamic polymorphism, you have two conditions, like you have inheritance and you have overriding. So you know that in inheritance you have a parent and child class, and they have the relation of inheritance. And overriding means that you have same signature of a method but in two different classes. Here you can see that we have animal class and an animal class public void. Actually, the main crux of these 2 or 3 slides is to show that the polymorphism in C# is different from the polymorphism in Java or in any other object-oriented language. So here you can see that we didn't write any modifier in a signature name. So if we have public void or method name, and if we deploy the same method in a derived class, so this cannot be called as a overriding in C#. Here you can see the behavior of this function, that we have different classes and we have same signature. Both the conditions are met, but this is not the polymorphism. You will see the behavior of once I show the output of this program, then you will get the behavior of that how it is done in C#. So here you can see that we have a dog class which is inherited from animal, and this has also animal sound function, and it is deploying the same function of its parent class. So here you can see the behavior. Whenever I do the binding, you see my animal sound and my pig animal sound, these are the object, and I am binding with the particular method of a class. So we see the behavior is same. Each one is showing the animal makes a sound, animals makes a sound. This means that polymorphism in C# is different, because in a polymorphism, if you want to override a method in derived class, the parent class first initiate a permission with the keyword virtual or abstract. So in the derived class, then you will be able to override those methods or function in a derived class. I'll show that in a while. You will see, I'll explain each of these concepts. So C# provides an option to override the base class by adding the virtual keyword. So you have two options, virtual or abstract. So if you ask me, so I'll explain it like virtual means optional overriding, and with the keyword abstract means a mandatory overriding. So this is optional overriding actually. So if the parent initiate or writes a virtual keyword with its signature, so this is a kind of permission to its derived class, that whether they want to override or not. I'll show you that. Here you can see that we have animal class, and here parent class is writing a modifier that is virtual. So when it comes to child class, you see override. This means that this pig class, which is a child class of animal class, this is overriding its parent class method that is called animal sound. So this is how the overriding is performed. And here you can see that dog class and dog class is also overriding its parent class. This is how overriding is performed in C#.NET as compared to other languages. Here you can see the dog, and this is also overriding its parent class animal sound method. Now if you perform overriding, you will see the behavior of each binding. Here you can see that animal makes a sound if you write object with a parent name. If you write the object with the child name, so child method will be called instead of their parent. This is actually what the overriding is. So here the dog, if you perform this binding, so the dog method will be called because the dog method signature will override this parent signature. So this is how overriding is done in C sharp, and we are performing optional overriding. In this, here I want to say that if, for example, if you take an example, if the pick class does not override its parent, so this is so it can do that. So that's why I'm saying this is optional overriding. This means that child class is not restricted to override its parent class. If child class wants to override, so it can do that. Otherwise, this is not mandatory on the class to do overriding. Now let's start with C sharp abstraction. And actually today will be doing mandatory overriding. Means child class will be restricted or child class will be bound to override its parent class. So let's start with abstraction is a principle of object-oriented programming language. As you know, it is used to hide implementation detail and display only essential feature of the object. In abstraction, by using accessing modifiers can hide the required details of the object, expose only necessary methods and properties through the reference of an object. In object-oriented programming, a class in a perfect example of abstraction. I'll show that with the help of example. In C sharp, we can create a class with required method or properties. We can expose only necessary methods and properties using access modifier based on our requirement. Here you can see public abstract class. This is how the class is made abstract. But remember, whenever you have any abstract method in a class, that class will be abstract, remember. So if you have written here abstract, so this class must have at least one method which is defined with the modifier of abstract. So here you can see abstract classes cannot be used initiate objects. So there will be no object of abstract class achieved with either abstract classes or interface. The abstract keyword is used for classes and methods. Abstract class is a restricted class that cannot be used to create an object. So this is one of the key thing, that you will not be able to create an object of your parent class in case if your class is abstract. Abstract method can only be used in an abstract class. So as I mentioned that if your class is abstract, so this is normally considered that at least one method in that class would be abstract. It does not have body. I'll show you. Here you can see that we have a class A, which is defined abstract. So here you can see inside this, as we didn't specify a public class, class A, this is abstract. And here you can see this is the method, do work. But this method does not have any body. So because this body will be defined by its child class. So that's why this is called mandatory overriding. So any class which is inherent from this A class, that must override this do work method. Otherwise compiler will give you an error. Here we will explain that abstraction with the help of examples. So first, this is example number 1. We have animal, and inside the animal you have public abstract void animal sound. This is a method. Okay. This is, as I mentioned, that this class is abstract, so you need at least one method in this class which is abstract. So here you can see public void. This is non-abstract method. You can keep both abstract and non-abstract method in an abstract class, but at least one method must be abstract. So here you have a cow and animal. So cow is inherited from animal. And now animal will, sorry, the cow will give the definition of this animal sound method. So you see that as you don't have the definition of this method here, but who will provide the definition? This child class will provide the definition. And in case if this class, if this class does not provide the definition, so you will get an error from the compiler. So this is how you can see that now cow, you are creating object of the cow class, as we have already uh, studied that you cannot make object of this class, animal class. As this class is abstract, so you are not allowed to create the object of your abstract class. So only child class, child class classes have objects. So here you can see my class dot animal sound. So this is how we the binding is performed, and now we are calling my sleep, my call dot sleep. So this is how the method will be called. Now this is example number 2. You can see here there, this is this is a traditional pattern of C# program that you will start with using system and namespace. And here you have a class with a keyword or a modifier named abstract. So here you can see you have a method that is area, and that method is abstract. So as this method has no definition, so the child class will provide the definition of this method. So here you can see the class shape, a private inside, and this here you can see at this method area. So now area is defined here. So console.area of the square. So and then side multiply side, you will get an area. So this is how abstraction will be done. And this is class GFG. So this is a main class method. At least one class in a method must have a main method, as you know. So now we are creating the object of this shape class. But as you know that you can create, you can take you can say take type of the class, but you cannot make an object. Here we are taking shape as a type. You guys, this is our parent class shape. Here we are not making the object of this class. We are making the object of square. And once this object is made, we will assign this object to this sh, which is of shape class. So this is, we are taking shape as a reference. So as you know that the subclass can assign its object to its parent class. Like we know from the casting that subclass can be assigned to a superclass without explicit casting. So this is as this is subclass, so a square class is a subclass of shape. So the object of square will be assigned to the shape. And then sh.area, this is how the area will be called. So that's why this is called late binding. So once at a compile time, this object will be assigned to this shape, and on runtime, this sh will call this area, and then it is done. So this is how abstraction is performed. Now you have assignment. Solve an example of polymorphism through abstraction and upload it through KCMN, or you can send me through email or grabs. These are the resources which I have used to make these slides. You can explore these references more to learn more about this topic. Anyhow, if you have question, you can ask me anytime through KCMS or WhatsApp. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. With that, we reach to end of this lecture. Till next lecture, Allah Hafiz.